Yo, 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 yo. How's it going? Let's take a look at the most exciting 1 hour stream on markets, on the YouTubes, on the internet. Got a bit of a summer vibe on the markets. Let's get started. Thanks for joining me, wherever you are, in here, out there, on the tubes, or otherwise. So I'm pretty not bullish. I wouldn't say I'm turbo bearish, but we've got a decent case for just chilling out. We can look at a variety of things we got going on in the midterm, near term, long term. Anything I say is not an affront to any altcoin holder. Keep that in mind. We're just looking at numbers and lines on a chart. The issue here now is gold looks great, oil looks great, as in bullish, and everything else doesn't. Risk markets look a little stretched, S&P, etc. But gold looks okay. And it just depends what you want to trade. Do you want to broaden out into other markets, or do you want to force yourself to trade fartcoin every day? That's up to you. That's your choice. I don't really care. I've learned a while back, you don't have to trade the same market all the time to make money. So right now, this is the best looking chart to me. This is PAX G. Now you can say there's geopolitical uncertainty. Great. Perfect for gold. Gold loves that. Gold is already setting up for higher and looks like it wants to go higher. Bitcoin and gold don't ever move together. And this gives you a measured move of 3,600 to 3,700, somewhere like that. So if this chart looks good, it's unlikely that everything else looks good. What's up, Rainbow? I'm not seeing any YouTube chat people. I wonder if I killed the YouTube chat on accident. Just give me a hey on YouTube if you see this. If you're out there, if you're listening. It's like those apocalypse movies. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me out there? I know the audio is working, but I did kill the chat. All right. Let me give me 2 seconds. I don't know what sorry ladies and germs. It is on X. It's working. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Sorry guys and guys and gals. Anywho, gold looks good, oil looks good. Seasonality is not on our side. Any of this stuff can fail. Keep that in mind. We had Head and Shoulders that tried to break down and didn't. Now we may have a fake out invalidation. I don't know. But the question is, where do you feel the most comfortable right now with a stack of money? Is it Fartcoin? Is it Pepe? This is the questions I get literally nonstop. If it's in the cloud or below the cloud, I'm just not interested. I don't care unless there's a setup. So if it's not setting up, I just don't care. I just don't care. That's where I'm at right now. So it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, we can look at anything and everything. I have no problem with that. But in the 4 seconds it takes to go through these charts, the only other thing that looks halfway decent is ETH. Everything else is just a pile of junk here. It just is. And that's okay. You don't have to have a trade every time. That's why to see this, like if Bitcoin looked like this, that's amazing. Now Bitcoin in its own doesn't look that bad. Let's be clear. It certainly looks better than alts. What the trader in me wants is let this chop around for 3 months. What do I care? And then you get a better trade, you get a better setup, you get higher confidence. You can, at least for me, I can put more money on the trade with higher leverage when I'm super sure. So we can talk about a cup and handle. We can talk about an inverted Head and Shoulders. All that stuff could be here. Do you feel confident enough today, in this moment, to size that up? That's the question. It's not, is it there or is it not there? What does entry, exit, stop loss look like? Stop loss is below 100K. I think that's pretty clear. Entry is probably a breakout trade above 110. Target 130, 140, 150, 160, whatever. Something up there. It measures to 140 at least. So do you feel comfortable today doing that? I don't know. Maybe. Not me. Pro streamer. Hashtag pro streamer. So that's the question. Like, all this stuff could be there. It all could play out eventually. How long do you want to sit in memes? How long do you want to sit in alts? Some people will sit in ETH for 3, 4, 5 years to be below break even. Okay, that's fine. That's up to you. I don't really care. But what is here today, short, mid, long term, the only thing I'm seeing today is gold. This is PAX G on Kraken. Gold looks great, at least on the crypto side. And it's not a coincidence that gold is the only thing green on my list today, and everything else is not. And I like the daily, I like trends, and if we don't see that, for me, it's I want to come out here and say I see all these setups all the time, but that was like a couple weeks ago when we were talking about all the setups that were going on. Those have all kind of played out, and now you've got people kind of chasing nonsense as far as setups are concerned. I don't really see anything in low time frame ETH or BTC either. Personally, you could probably say ascending triangle or something. I don't hate that. Again, ETH looks the best out of all the alts to me. ETH looks the best, both on the BTC pair and on the USD pair. And that's the first time in years that that's been the case. Years. And this is not some like statement on this network versus that network. I don't care. This is technicals alone. ETH BTC looks ready to break out of the cloud eventually. So it looks good. It looks really good. The only other chart I like here on the BTC pairs would be Maker BTC, high time frame. This is a like 3-6 month idea. Maybe you get movement on this when the stablecoin bill passes. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not here for that. Technicals look good. Technicals look good. So what else is there in altcoin land? There's BTC and ETH. That's about it. Sol, we'll just go down the daily real quick. In the cloud or below the cloud, I don't care. That's just me. That's just me. Sol's in the cloud. I don't care. Now, it may be a great trade 3 to 6 months from now at this level, looking back. That is not what the system I use is telling me. So it just doesn't say anything here. It's literally not nonsense chop. And that's most of the market. Ripple, nonsense chop. SWI, nonsense chop. Head and shoulders risk for sure. Tau, it's above the cloud, so I'll give it that. Doesn't really look like anything to me here. Chopping around. Maybe a broader inverted head and shoulders. But that's a breakout idea, not really a now idea. ADA. I can't tell you the number of times people ask me about this. Like mostly new people to crypto. It's usually ADA and Ripple. That isn't a statement on the technicals here. I don't see what there is to do on this one at the moment. Much like Ripple, much like Doge, much like Link, it's either below the cloud or in the cloud. Doesn't matter. I just don't care. Curve, head and shoulders risk there. Below the cloud, don't care. Aave, some of the DeFi stuff you'll probably come across looks okay, trend-wise. I don't hate it. It's up a lot in a short amount of time. But is there some slam dunk idea of a trade here? I don't think so. Not for me. But it looks better in a relative value basis than everything else, sure. Link, below the cloud, don't care. Tron is another one, sort of does its own thing. It's above the cloud, I guess. Something, maybe. ENA, below the cloud, stinker, nothing, chop, garbage, range, right? Like, not the adjectives you want if you're trying to take a long. Not the adjectives you want if you want to break out. AVAX, below the cloud, don't care. LTC, below the cloud, don't care. Now, any of these may spring on some news of something, markets related, regulatory related, who knows? But technicals here are not on your side for appreciation. Monero, I don't know how many times I need to say this, but not something I would actively trade. If you believe in it, just hold it. And that's that. If you trade Monero, if you hold Monero, you want this to like 4x from here. It's the same thing with ETH. Like, unless ETH goes to 8K, it's really a giant waste of everyone's time because it's done nothing since 2020. It's just chopped around. So if you don't think ETH has the potential to go to 8K, just trade something else. Because look where it's at. It's still under 3. And we can measure this and say, okay, here's the high, here's the low, there's the level. 7, 2, 8, whatever, right? But that's the justification based on technicals. That isn't to say that will happen. That isn't to say that it has a high probability of happening. That's just saying, look, if you don't think that's a possibility, just trade something else. It just doesn't seem worth it. It hasn't done anything. It hasn't gone anywhere. And this is what the ETH people don't understand. It's like, there's all these promises and things are going to happen. The reality is there's too many coins. Tokenization or tokenomics are awful. And people would rather just trade anything else. So unless this thing has momentum, it's still going to just be stuck in this range. So here to 4K is a fine trade, sure. But I wouldn't want to sit in this unless you thought it could go to 8K. So maybe we see that at the end of the year. I don't know. I doubt it, but that's something to think about. Where could this go? FET daily in the cloud, head and shoulders risk there. This is not something you want to see. We can go all the way back here. Go like this, right? Whatever this is, it is not bullish until it's above the cloud, until it makes higher highs. It just isn't. And that's really, there's nothing else to say on technicals that you can justify here. You can start drawing cup and handles on all this stuff, fine, but until it makes higher highs, it just doesn't matter. Yeah, hype, I wouldn't trade it on technicals, but it does have a daily bear div. If you're bullish this cycle, if you're bullish the rest of the year, and you think other idiots are also bullish, hype, then just keep buying, buy every low, buy every dip, and don't sell. Don't sell. Yeah, it could be a YouTube issue right now. I doubt it. Again, it's probably me, but what I'll do is I'll rip this video later and re-upload it to YouTube or something. Anyway, FET, again, there's just nothing here. There's just nothing here. Ondo, it doesn't matter. Anything else outside of this chart, I can hear people justifying, what about RWA? What about AI? What about everything? You name it. That's not what we're talking about here. We're just talking about the chart. We're talking about lines, meaningless numbers. This is a nothing burger for me. It's a nothing burger. Dot. Looks awful. Looks awful. Huge head and shoulders here. Potentially, right? It's not about whether or not this plays out. It's about, is this a stop sign, a yellow warning sign? Does this look like something I want to touch? No. This stuff all looks terrible. It just does. Algo below the cloud, awful. Also head and shoulders risk. CAS below the cloud, head and shoulders risk. TIA continues to make lower lows, continues to make what I think are, all-time lows. Why? Why are we sitting in this? Again, there may be some news announcement where something happens. That is not what technicals are picking up here. Technicals are saying trend is bad, trend is down, market is weak. Leave it alone. That's what it's telling me. Near, same. All these charts are the same, right? They all have this nested head and shoulders after a failed recovery. Maker to me, again, looks like one of the better charts. It's not like some mega EDE play or whatever here. It's just setting up for a bottomy type move, and it's not making lower lows. The rest of the market making lower lows. This thing at least holding levels. Kaito, I got nothing here. Doesn't look great. Doesn't look like I want to be long that thing. Rune in the cloud, chopping around. So this is the story of alts right now. It's either down, sideways, or nonsense chop. I see zero setups anywhere right now on alts for the most part. On balance, here's Ray again. What does this look like? This doesn't need to break down, doesn't need to go anywhere, but I also don't need to be touching stuff that looks like this, right? There's just a lot of that. A lot of that. Same deal. Doesn't look good. This could cancel, this could negate, this could invalidate, it could break up, but now is not the time that it looks like it wants to go higher. Pith, look at this, another failed. It's just everything is failed reversals everywhere. STX looked good, came all the way back. All the way back. AXL had a listing announcement, and this is the type of thing, like, technicals aren't really going to be able to pick this up. It's not going to be able to say, oh wow, June 7th was a great bottom signal. Not really. I mean, there's really nothing you can really do here, in my opinion. HNT, new lows, looks like garbage. So what else on this list, right? What else on this list? We can go through the memes. Doge, below the cloud, not it. Bartcoin, one of the stronger ones for sure. Let's go to the 12 hour. I don't really have an opinion. Trying to get back above the cloud. Amongst the memes, it looks the best. Pepe, chop, flat, nonsense, garbage. We can talk about a cup and handle or something, sure, but the entry for that stuff is not at the low or when it's about to make lower lows. Like, if you think that's real and this is gonna follow ETH, it's just not a now trade for me. It's not a now trade for me. Then that's it. There's really nothing else to say. With same thing. What is this? It's just waiting. It's in the will we make higher highs waiting room for now. Really nothing to say here. If this stuff collectively starts to turn around, and it will likely do so all together, then you'll have a ton of stuff to do. But in my trading opinion, just not much to do here on alts. So with just a waiting setup, Popcat looks like junk breaking below the cloud there. Mog, chop, bonk, below the cloud, chop. Trump, nothing. SHIB also looks like every other chart where it's got this head and shoulders risk at the bottom. And that's kind of it. Thanks for playing, ladies and gentlemen. That's altcoins right now. That's it. That's all of them. And yeah, we can look at hype. It does have a bear div, like I said, but like it's gotta look way different than the list that we looked at to be tolerable in my book. ETH trying to break above the cloud for the first time in a year. Literally, it's June was the last time it was up here above the cloud. Definitely one of the stronger BTC pairs. Sol BTC is another failed reversal in the moment. You know, this looked really good, set up for a long time, and just we got pump.fund just firing off thousands of Sol to Kraken to be sold. So that's what that is on that chart. Ripple BTC hanging out below the cloud. Not something you want to see if you're bullish. Not something you want to see if you're bullish. LTC BTC back at lows. I don't see it. I don't see it here. We would need to be getting a close in the cloud or something. Don't see that. Tron Rooney, sideways chop. Really nothing to say there. ADA is going to look not great, and it doesn't. Sorry, ADA kids. There's just nothing. Like what about this chart says, oh man, what a great trade setup this is. Don't see it. Stellar, same deal. It loves to move. It loves to have like one move one day every 3 years and then just give it all back. Now you could say this is a massive falling wedge. I don't hate that. I just don't think too many people trade Stellar. That's the problem. So like you're kind of getting this false signal, but I guess that's, you know, if you're looking for stuff to do, that's something, I guess. Dot. That's an all-time low, is it? I guess for Kraken. Kraken it is. This is your brain on broken tokenomics relative to BTC, where you just have so much inflation, so much issuance. Yes, you can get your staking yield, but this is what you're dealing with. This is your brain on alts. It's just down forever. Doge not looking so hot there below the cloud on the weekly. And there just isn't anything to do. I mean, I wish we had some stuff to do here on alts, but really this stuff looks just tragically bad. Link, SNX. How does Monero look? Even Monero's losing its daily cloud. Not quite holding the weekly edge-to-edge trade. I don't know. There's just very little to do. Yeah, I know, Sovereign. Sorry. I tried to fix it quickly, but I don't know what's going on with YouTube and my connection. I'll have to check that out after. Algo, and we're back to Maker. Maker looks great relative to everything else. Sand, all-time lows. Atom, I think that's probably all-time lows. Just awful. Awful. Too many alts, too much inflation, not enough dollars, not enough eyeballs. And that's it. So what else do we want to look at that have a shot here? I guess I'll pull up. It's also it's a pivot there, but it's not real. Yeah, you've got a bear div on this. So fresh position up here doesn't quite make sense. But if you think the cycle's got time in it, if you think we got room to run, I would just say, okay, there's the high, there's the low, 100, boom, done. Wouldn't think about it. Sprinkle some asks between 75 and 100, call it a day. See you January 1st. That's it. That's a 2x from here. But I would not trade this on leverage. That's just me. That's just me. Two things we do have on our side as far as tailwinds would be global liquidity continues to go higher. You know, you can use a 30, 60, 90, 75, 120, whatever day offset you want to use. I don't really care. Liquidity is going higher. That's good. And right now, the immediate sponge is gold. Gold is clearly ready to go, right? Regardless, you can blame it on geopolitical nonsense. You can blame it on whatever you want, but liquidity is moving higher because the dollar is moving lower. We've got COT, CME positioning heavily, heavily, heavily long. And what else is there to say? So like we should be okay coming out of this because we know we have insane liquidity because the dollar is just getting demolished, right? So it's going to be tough to push the big stuff down. It'll be great to see this gold breakout actually materialize because eventually Bitcoin moves. So there's really nothing else to point to at the moment. Like we should not be breaking down with the dollar. The dollar should push us in the opposite direction. What else was I going to say? Talking about oil. Oil. So this month's CPI came in under expectations, fine. The issue for next month is we should see a slight bump in CPI. I don't know if that's going to freak people out or not. Oil has moved from 55 to 68, whatever. That's going to hurt CPI. Oil coming down has helped push CPI down with it. So this is going to mess with the May number a little bit. Sorry, May, June. June, this month. This month's print, which comes next month, we'll see some headwinds from oil flipping higher like that. And one other thing to be mindful of is where are we at in the cycle. Maybe we have 200 days in us, maybe we have 300 days in us, just based on what we've seen. We can go for another 10,000 years. Okay, that's not the point. The point is, what have we seen? We've seen 1,000 days-ish of move from the bottom up to, we'll call it, I don't know, 1100, 1050, whatever. So we got some time to do some stuff and some things into Q4. But if we get into like day 1100 from the bottom, day 1200, we better have some crazy tailwinds. Like Jay Powell steps down and we get a Uber Dove insta 100 basis point cut on rates. We get liquidity to infinity. We get dollar to zero. We get wirehouses. We get more Bitcoin treasuries, more ETF flows. Like that's what it's going to take to hold this past what we've already seen, in my opinion. It's possible. It's certainly like more possible than ever that this is the cycle that breaks the mold. But just looking at this is not suggestive that we have another 10,000 days in us, that we have another 1,000 days in us. This is, we have some time to make a high in Q4 and then figure it out. You can also look at it like this. 2026 is lining up. APSK32 does some great charts on this. Is lining up for the high. That's just what we've seen. Makes sense. You got taxes, seasonality, whatever. Just something to keep in mind. Because of course, alts are relative to BTC, MSTR is relative to BTC, obviously, and the last thing you want to do is go turbo long January and then that's, you're buying the top. That's not where you want to live if we are at the top in January. So definitely be mindful of the surroundings there. If we have perfect conditions for more insanity in 2026, then maybe it's a different story. But we will see. We shall see. MVRV looks fine here at 2.6, and all these other metrics that I like, I don't see any issues. 2-year moving average multiplier, 2-year or 200-week heat map, pi cycle, like the rainbow chart. Nothing here looks like it's ready to roll over, looks like it's over. I think we got time to chop around in Q3. Power law, anything? I guess this isn't. We'll just skip that for today. Nothing's loading, nothing's working. That's just the type of day it is here on this Thursday mid-afternoon. Let's do legacy here now. Some people talking about silver and silver miners, gold miners, ARM, hype. Yeah, we looked at that. Yeah, so the issue I think with the SPY, you have a bear div. That's there. That's real. You've got just a crazy bounce, right? Like, this can keep going, sure. You've got a little bit of a rising wedge risk. It's just, what is your risk reward here after this move? You could say, well, maybe this whole thing is this, head and shoulders thing, something, whatever, and it's got a crazy move left in it. That's fair. I don't hate that idea. I would just put a trailing stop loss here, 59.21. Call it a day. I don't really see anything else to do. I don't like crazy leverage up here. It doesn't really make too much sense to me after this bounce. Yeah, Chop City, I know. I'm going to have to upload it after we record here. I don't know, some connection issue with YouTube right now on my end. So just like crypto, majors in equities have played out. And now there's some small cap stuff like IWM. I think IWM has more room. I think it has a better setup. I think it has better risk reward than majors. I think it has better risk reward than the Qs. And I'd never say that about IWM ever. So this isn't, of course I'm long IWM, so I'm talking my book, but I'm long IWM because it looks the way it looks relative to everything else. Chart still looks great to me. You can't tell me otherwise. Can't tell me otherwise, chat. GDX would be gold miners. And if you think gold's going to 3,700, I don't think you can really like trade gold miners. I would just think of it as an expression of leverage on gold. It has plenty of room for higher, and that's that. I like UGL as far as a leveraged gold instrument to play this. You can see the shadow of the inverted head and shoulders there, whatever. And I wouldn't overthink it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Fine. But that's one way to do it. Gold, of course, looks great. Silver, I mean, the weekly looks fine. Like, what is your entry? What is your setup, right? I don't have anything. If you're just, again, if you're like on this bandwagon, it's like if you're this investor instead of a trader and you think that there's going to be some gold silver correction on the ratio, then just play that. Just hold it, right? Hold it and see what happens. Kind of looks like ETH BTC, doesn't it? ETH kind of peaked mid-June, gave everything back last year, 2024. I don't have any strong opinions on the silver chart. I don't even know what a silver miner. Is there a silver miner ETF? I'm sure there is, but miner SILJ. Yeah, it's above the cloud. Looks like it's in the stratosphere, but again, if you think silver is going to infinity, then that's one way to play it. And then it's just a sizing confidence question. But, that's up to you. To me here right now, gold looks like the better move, better setup. I have no clue what's going to outperform. No clue. I mean, even this is platinum and palladium. I talked about this one on Twitter 2 weeks ago. We've talked about it here before. This looks insane to me relative to silver. I mean, this thing is breaking out of a multi-month level. Looks way better than something like KWeb. This is something KWeb has not been able to do, which is break up above the range. Cloud is flipping bullish on the weekly. What's there not to love on this thing? Looks really good. Commodities in general. URA is another one. Just a crazy move. After giving it all back. Sure. We can pretend that cup and handle was never there. And we can say, what if this is a expanding, broadening wedge breakout or something? I don't know. Why not? It's basically the cup and handle measured move. There's your levels, 47, 57. So there's lots of commodities that look good. It's the same thing with the altcoin mentality. It's like if you're trying to force a silver trade, that may be the winner here. At the end of the day, I have no clue. I just think there's lots of other stuff to be looking at. Uranium, platinum, palladium. I'm sure there's more stuff. What does copper look like? Even copper's trying to break out. Trying to break out. So if you want to play the commodity game, there are ways to do that. That isn't just silver, but yeah, everything looks decent. XLE still kind of looks like junk. This thing has been a giant stinker. This is the energy ETF. How's XLU? That would be utilities. XLU looks decent. This is more of a defensive risk off generally. ETF market posture, however you want to think about that. I think this goes higher. It has some AI tailwinds with it as well. So there's lots of things to do that aren't equities or alts or crypto that have decent setups, aside from IWM, which I still think looks really, really good. There's some semi stuff, AMD, above the cloud, inverted head and shoulders, Marvell, edge to edge, IHS, right? Huge flat level at 87. That's the level. For the target, someone asking me about ARM a few times. ARM looks fine, right? It's above the cloud. It clearly had a like tiny head and shoulders inverted down here. Do I love it? I don't love it, but it looks fine. Looks plenty bullish. It's like, do you force this? This goes back to the crypto versus everything else idea. Do you force yourself to trade NVIDIA, or do you look for other opportunities? I don't know. That's like an individual's journey. What do you do here? I would not take a trade in NVIDIA here. I don't care that it's 5% from all-time highs. It's just there's plenty of other stuff to do. So I don't see a reason for it. That isn't to say it won't be fine. I just don't see a reason here. Same thing with SMH or the other semi ETFs. I think individually there's some dispersion between the group, like Marvell, AMD, where those have kind of underperformed. SoxL, I know another one people were looking at. It looks fine. 3x or 3x semis, sure. TNA's 3x IWM, similar story. There's stuff out there. There's stuff out there to do. Bonds look like junk to me. If we go TLT, like this is the altcoin story all over again. Downward chop, ranging nonsense, high time frame. It's basically going to take intervention to break out of this. That's just the truth. Nobody wants this stuff. And we're issuing too much of it. So prices are going to go down. Not much else to say really on the long bond. Just doesn't look good. Does not look good. It's great for crypto. But what we don't want the 10-year at like 475. Because then people are worried. We want the 10-year above 5. Because then we get the intervention. No half measures. We don't want anything in the worry zone. We're at 4.25-ish today, 4.36. Whatever, it's fine. Doesn't look bearish, right? Like you could imagine a world where this plays out. That's scary, right? Add that to your list of 2026 things. If we see this at 5 and there's some yield curve control stuff that takes place, it's going to be like straight down and then straight up as yield curve control kicks in for fixed supply assets. And I think that's what commodities are sort of sniffing out. They're sniffing out the fact that debt is out of control, inflation is going to be running slightly hotter than expectations, and that's that. Like, there's nothing else anybody can do about it because they're not bringing spending down. ILMN. What's this one? Illumina. Is this like 3D printing or something? I forget. Yeah. Little daily inverted head and shoulders there. Clearly a level at 111. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. But again, there's plenty of stuff to do that isn't crypto or majors or whatever. There's tons of stuff. Just looking at my list here, LabVIEW, EVAV, nothing really sticks out there. And I'd put MSTR in that bucket. It's just kind of doing a bunch of nothing. But like hype, like if you think hype's going to 100 and you like it, just, don't deviate from the plan. Pick a stop loss and that's that. And see you in January. If you think MSTR is going to 800, 1,000, whatever, then don't let me talk you out of it. There's certainly TA justification for that possibility. I just don't know how you would give that a probability. That's the problem. Now you could say, well, maybe this whole thing is a inverted head and shoulder yet to be broken out of. Possible. And then if we get some blast off in Q4, then MSTR just, gets silly. The risk reward is there. The setup is there. It's just, do you want to do that now? Do you want to do that later? Do you want to wait for some confirmation? Just looks like it's kind of sagging on lack of momentum right now. That's all. Metaplan I also talked about, I think yesterday. That one I'd be very careful with. What is the actual ticker I pull up? Is it this one? I would just be careful with this stuff up here because, again, the NAV is whatever the NAV is. And yes, I know the NAV can go to 3,000. I get it. But, man, I would just be careful. Technicals say be careful. That's all. Miners across the board kind of look like small caps. I like these better above the cloud. Generally, basic rules apply. They look better than most alts do. Cores above the cloud there. WGMI trying to get above. Wolf in the cloud, but trying. CleanSpark kind of chopping around. Doesn't look the best. IREN, top of the cloud. Edge to edge complete. Measured move on whatever I was measuring. I guess it was an inverted head and shoulders down there. Something like this. I don't know. These look okay. It's just, do they look good right now? Marathon never looks great relative to the group. Riot, edge to edge complete. Bitfarms looks like every other alt does, just not good. Cypher trying to make its way. Bippy, okay. Hut, okay. It's just like, is there a setup here? Is there an entry? Is there a trade? I don't really see it, but they look fine. Hive looks okay. I think Cores certainly looks the strongest. The rest of them look okay, but there's clearly some that look stronger than others. No, I don't have any MSTR. I sold MSTR when the pivot broke. Not pivot, fractal. So it was back here May 15th. Somewhere over here. And then I didn't see a reason to get back into it. That's another thing you could do, though, is just watch the fractals. Stop loss 363, entry 395. But here, I don't see anything. And then we got people talking about, millions of dollars of options exposure and all this other stuff. That just feels a little early to me. A little early, based on technicals. Could be right. I just think it's a little early. MSTU, I was looking at this one today. This looks like all of the meme coins do. It's basically, that's how it trades, but it's nothing, right? There's nothing here. I think there's going to be a trade on this if we put an alert at like 875 or something. I think there's going to be trades on this stuff, but it's going to take time. You're going to need some patience. BitX, BITU, same deal. Probably better off just waiting. I don't see anything that's screaming here. You could draw some like horizontal, or sorry, diagonal, and put an alert on that. I just don't see anything that looks super tradable here right now. Anything else on Legacy anybody wants to see? Anything else before we get out of here and I fix whatever the YouTube issue is? YouTube people are going to kill me. They're going to kill me, Twitter. Don't tell them. Don't tell them you came here instead of there. So generally, you know, it's like maybe ETH. I was kind of looking at something. Is there something here for leverage ETH? Maybe. I think I said this before, but the best thing to do is just chart the underlying, and then if you like that, use the exposure via the instrument. I wouldn't chart ETH necessarily, just because with fees and volatility drag, it's going to look a certain way. BTC dumps to 105. 105 is a dump, Zelva? I don't think so, bro. 105, I'll take 105. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. SMLR is getting a lot of press because the NAV has dropped below 1. It's the issue is, here's the issue. It trades like garbage. That's the issue. So like, if you have some long-term idea, thesis, sure. But like, what is this? What is this? It is crazy chop. Insanity level of chop. Insanity. XYZ never recovered either. Still in the range. Still in the range. Affirm. Yeah, looks fine. Slap a trailing stop loss on that puppy and hold on. Nothing to do there. Palantir, just because I'm thinking about it. If you're, you know, if I was trading this, I would just be trading it as a cup and handle. And if we get close to 184, I'm out. If we hit a trailing stop loss, I'm out. And that's that. Just do your thing. Let it do its thing. Coin is basically total 2, so that's, again, it's like, what does total 2 look like here? Anything? Is there anything at all? Anything at all? Not really. Just still chopping around. Maybe there's a diag to watch there. Not a lot of inspired charts on the crypto side at the moment, unfortunately. Maybe that changes in Q4. But right now, it's really just BTC chilling up there, ETH hanging on. That's kind of it. All right, we'll do these few tickers here and then get out of here. Venom. Zelva, I thought you were a Bitcoin maximalist, like the most maxi of the maximalists. Like the maximalists go to you to see whether they are maximalist enough. Venom. Yeah, I mean, it's got this huge thing. You just got to be careful. It looks thinly traded, so you got to be careful of that. It looks a little manipulated. You got to be careful of that. He likes good trades. Okay, I identify as a Zelva believer. This one, yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. All right, a few legacy charts real quick. Semis AOSL. Yeah, looks like the Marvell idea, right? I see what you see. I think the difference maker between like this versus Marvell versus AMD versus whatever, it's just sizing on market cap. Like these are going to get hit with easier bearish headlines. It kind of reminds me of SMCI. Not the setup, just the company. Like I know nothing about that company, but even this looks starting to set up. Look at this volume since 2024. Wild. SMCI high time frame. There's no way I touch this again. I tried this up here, and then when it broke below the cloud, I was out. So that was last time I traded this was back here, July 2024, just because it had that triangle it was trying to break out of. Interesting little chart. Put an alert there at like 47.89. All right, UMAC. Drones. Yeah, it looks okay. Looks fine. Better than most alts. You know, target like 14 or something like that. RGTI, yeah, I look at this one every once in a while. It's still, I'll delete these annotations for now. It still hasn't quite broken out of the cloud. It's trying. It's got a decent base, right? Like if you look at, hold on, no. Maybe you could argue ascending triangle, like one of these. And if like a lot of this stuff, it just goes bonkers in Q4, like this is something to put on a list of ways to get exposure to insanity in Q4. If this continues to consolidate. Just because it's clearly like top of mind for the market. Roku's another one. We zoom way out. Similar idea. Like if you've got I don't know, retail liquidity nonsense in Q4 and you've got setups like this, that's where things tend to happen. It reminds me of the Roblox chart. If you remember that one back here. Broke out, still keeps going. Chart looks insane. Not an entry here, but same type of that idea. Figs, add that to the list. It's another one. Chart looks like it's trying to maybe do something eventually. I just like these because they've been beaten down and they're clearly coiling in some fashion. And then Rivian, of course, is a house favorite. Looks good. These don't need insanity to break out. They just look like they've been consolidating for a very long time, right? And then qubits. This one I don't really like. A little bit of double top there. But this, this you can see where Rigetti didn't break out yet. This clearly has a similar idea with the ascending triangle. It didn't quite get there, maybe a little bit, but it just looks kind of M double toppy to me. Yeah, it's tough because like it's trend bullish. Is that enough? This reminds me of the drone. Like this is where the drone chart UMAC wants to go. Like it wants to go through the cloud like this. Maybe it's just enough. The issue is that it's still up thousands of percent since 24. It doesn't look bad, I'll give you that. Even if this cup and handles out, candles out, whatever. We go like this or something. I just don't know how much momentum it's got in it right now. Pepsi? What's the ticker? I don't even know. Is it this? This looks like ETH. It looks awful. It literally... Yeah, because ETH... Here, if we just add... Let's go... new right scale. I guess it doesn't really match that well, but... doesn't look... You know, maybe it's trying to bottom here. I think you need a little bit more time, but... SPX. Yeah, why are people trading? Like, if you want leveraged exposure, just go trade UGL. I don't know. Like, yeah, what's the trade here? Buy, sell, or hold? I don't think it's a buy. Depends on where you got in as far as the selling or not. But RSI hit 81. Tweezer top on the daily. I don't know. I think you gotta be super careful with stuff that looks like this. Clearly parabolic. Hopped on late. Yeah, alts don't look good. You can rewind. Do a whole alt trashing session. Alts don't look great. Crypto doesn't look great. Bitcoin and ETH look okay. Some DeFi ETH beta looks okay. Other than that, lots of chop right now. That's all I got for this one. I'll upload this to YouTube in a second. See everybody on Sunday. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.